The Earth, our home, is changing. It's warming at an alarming rate. From melting glaciers to raging wildfires, the signs are impossible to ignore. The year 2023 was the hottest on record. This isn't just a statistic. We are fast approaching a tipping point. If we fail to act, the consequences will be devastating. The time for complacency is over. The fate of future generations depends on it. The signs of climate change are all around us. Temperatures are soaring to record highs. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more intense. Sea levels are rising at an alarming rate. Glaciers are melting at an unprecedented pace. Wildfires are raging across the globe, fueled by hotter and drier conditions. The human cost of climate change is already being felt. The year 2023 will be etched in our memories as a year of unprecedented heat. Our planet, once a vibrant garden of life, is now gripped by a fever. The mercury climbed higher than ever before, shattering records. This isn't just a number on a chart. It's a symptom of a planet in distress. Every single day of the year exceeded 1 degree Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This relentless heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. It's driving extreme weather events that are becoming increasingly frequent and devastating. The Earth is sending us a clear message. The heat is on and we must act now. As the Earth's temperature continues to rise, we are witnessing the consequences of our actions unfold before our very eyes. Wildfires, fueled by tinder-dry vegetation and scorching temperatures, are raging across the globe. From the forests of California to the Australian outback, these infernos are leaving behind a trail of devastation. Hurricanes, those monstrous storms that brew over warm ocean waters, are becoming more powerful and destructive. Coastal communities are bearing the brunt of their fury, facing catastrophic winds, storm surges, and torrential rainfall. Floods, once considered localized events, are now occurring on a global scale. The human toll of these events is immeasurable. The year 2023 brought into sharp focus the interconnectedness of our planet. It's not just about record temperatures, it's about the ripple effect of those temperatures.
Water, the lifeblood of our planet, is becoming increasingly scarce in many regions. Droughts are becoming more severe and prolonged, depleting reservoirs and aquifers. Competition for this precious resource is intensifying, leading to conflicts, displacement, and human suffering.
Food security, once a given for many, is now under threat. Extreme weather events are playing havoc with agricultural production. The most vulnerable among us, those who are least responsible for climate change, are bearing the brunt of its impacts. Our oceans, once teeming with life, are now showing visible signs of distress. This warming is not a localized phenomenon, it's a global crisis. As the oceans absorb heat from the atmosphere, they are experiencing marine heat waves with increasing frequency and intensity. These heat waves are like underwater wildfires, decimating kelp forests and driving coral bleaching events. The warming waters are also causing the oceans to expand, contributing to rising sea levels. Our oceans are not only getting warmer, but they are also becoming more acidic. High up in the polar regions and atop towering mountain ranges, the cryosphere is crumbling.
Glaciers, once mighty rivers of ice, are now retreating. The ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica are losing mass, pouring billions of tons of meltwater into the oceans every year.
The melting of the cryosphere is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet. The Arctic, once a frozen wilderness, is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet. The melting of permafrost is releasing methane, a potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. The consequences of a warming planet are perhaps most dramatically illustrated by the rising tides. As global temperatures rise, the oceans are expanding. Low-lying island nations are facing an existential threat. Their very existence is at stake as rising seas contaminate freshwater sources and erode coastlines. Even large coastal cities are now facing an uncertain future. From Miami to Shanghai, cities built on low-lying coastal plains are grappling with the reality of more frequent and severe flooding. The economic and social consequences of rising sea levels are staggering. The rhythm of rain, once as predictable as the changing seasons, is now faltering. Climate change is disrupting rainfall patterns across the globe. Areas once accustomed to regular rainfall are experiencing prolonged droughts, while others are facing deluges of unprecedented proportions. In regions prone to drought, the land is parched and cracked. On the other side of the spectrum, torrential downpours are becoming increasingly common. These shifting rainfall patterns are also disrupting ecosystems, pushing many plant and animal species to the brink. Adding another layer of complexity to this unfolding crisis is El Niño. El Niño events, characterized by warmer-than-average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific, occur irregularly. While a natural phenomenon, El Niño's impacts are being amplified by climate change. El Niño can bring about dramatic shifts in rainfall patterns, leading to droughts in some regions and floods in others. The exact impacts of El Niño vary depending on the strength and duration of the event. The warmer-than-average sea surface temperatures associated with El Niño can disrupt the upwelling of nutrient-rich waters, leading to fish kills and coral bleaching events. As our planet warms and rainfall patterns become increasingly erratic, the world is facing a growing water crisis. From drought-stricken regions to flooded cities, climate change impacts are felt globally. This crisis demands urgent action to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts. Addressing the water crisis requires diverse solutions. We must transition to cleaner energy sources like solar and wind, invest in sustainable water management and ecosystem restoration.
Strengthen resilience to climate impacts already being felt. Invest in early warning systems and resilient infrastructure.
The challenge is daunting but not insurmountable. By working together, we can build a water-secure future. Act now to protect this precious resource for future generations. The evidence is clear. Our planet is warming and human activity is the primary cause. The consequences of inaction are becoming increasingly apparent, with each passing season bringing fresh reminders of the perils ahead. The time for complacency is long gone. We must confront this challenge with urgency and determination. To ignore the warnings is to condemn future generations to escalating hardship. Climate change is a threat multiplier, exacerbating social, economic and political tensions. Scarce resources and competition lead to conflict and instability. Water scarcity will be a defining challenge of the 21st century. Droughts will turn fertile lands into dust bowls. Rivers will dwindle, unable to support growing populations. Competition for water will lead to conflicts within and between nations. Human health will be increasingly threatened by climate change. Heat waves will become more frequent and intense. Air pollution will lead to respiratory and cardiovascular problems. Infectious diseases will spread as warmer temperatures favor disease vectors. The path we choose today will determine the future we face. If we continue on our current trajectory, we face escalating climate chaos. The consequences of inaction are dire.
But it's not too late to change course. We can still create a sustainable and equitable future. It requires a shift in mindset and recognizing our interconnectedness.
Transition to renewable energy is essential. Invest in sustainable practices and build resilient communities. The future of humanity hangs in the balance. The situation is dire, I won't sugarcoat it. But amidst the stark realities, there is a glimmer of hope. We as individuals have the power to make a difference. We are not powerless bystanders in this unfolding drama. Each and every one of us can become agents of change, making choices that will steer us towards a more sustainable future. The first step, as with any journey, is often the hardest, but it is also the most crucial. We must acknowledge the urgency of the situation and our own role in creating it. We must move beyond denial and apathy and embrace the responsibility that comes with being citizens of this planet.
The power of collective action cannot be overstated. When we come together, united by a common purpose, we can achieve extraordinary things. We can hold our leaders accountable, demanding bolder action on climate change. We can support businesses and organizations that prioritize sustainability.
Our individual choices may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but they are the building blocks of a more sustainable future. By making conscious decisions in our daily lives, we can reduce our own environmental footprint and inspire others to do the same. We can start by reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, opting for public transportation, cycling or walking whenever possible. We can make our homes more energy efficient by insulating properly, switching to energy-saving appliances, and simply turning off lights when we leave a room. Our diets too play a crucial role in the fight against climate change. By reducing our consumption of meat, particularly beef, and incorporating more plant-based meals into our diets, we can significantly reduce our environmental impact. Food waste is another major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, so it's crucial that we buy only what we need and find ways to use leftovers creatively. From the rise and fall of civilizations to the scientific advancements that have shaped our world, our presence is deeply entwined with the Earth's history. But the legacy we are shaping today is one that will determine the fate of generations to come. The choices we make or fail to make in the face of climate change will reverberate through the corridors of time. Will we be remembered as the generation that plundered the Earth's resources, leaving behind a barren and depleted planet? Or will we be celebrated as the generation that rose to the challenge, embracing a path of sustainability and stewardship? The answer, my friends, lies in our hands. The time for procrastination, for passing the buck to future generations, is over. We are the generation that can no longer afford to ignore the warning signs. We are the generation that must act, and act decisively, to safeguard our planet's future. The task before us may seem daunting, overwhelming even. The scale of the challenge, the complexity of the issues can leave one feeling paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of it all. But despair is not an option. We must summon the courage to confront this crisis head-on, to look beyond the challenges and embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. For within every challenge lies the seed of opportunity. Climate change is not just a threat. It's a catalyst for innovation, for creativity, for a fundamental rethinking of our relationship with the natural world. It's a call to action, a summons to unleash the boundless potential of the human spirit. The solutions are within our grasp. We have the technology, the knowledge, the resources to transition to a low-carbon economy, to build more resilient communities, to protect our planet's precious biodiversity. What we need now is the political will, the collective determination to break free from the shackles of short-term thinking and embrace a vision of a sustainable future.